Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and I am at the 2023 North America International Auto Show in Detroit, Michigan. In this video, I'm going to take you on a complete tour of the entire show floor. Stay tuned. All right, Gearheads, I am going to do my best to keep my breath and keep my voice throughout the entirety of this video because I am about to take you on the entire show floor here at the Detroit North America International Auto Show. We're going to start over here with Stellantis and their family of brands. You can see right now we are in the Dodge booth. So right here in front of me is the new Dodge Hornet. This is the goes like hell version, the GLH. We have driven a Dodge Hornet. It was not that one, but we have a full review of this small, compact, but very sporty crossover on the channel already. This is built on a shared platform with the brand new Alfa Romeo Tonale. So very similar looks, but I can tell you from speaking with the brand, they basically got the shell from Alfa Romeo and the suspension, the engine, everything that makes it a moving, working vehicle is unique to the Dodge brand. So while that Alfa Romeo Tonale may be the more beautiful vehicle of the bunch, this is a fun, affordable, and very engaging little Dodge version of that same body, but an entirely different heart and soul here in the Dodge version. Coming over here, we've got the future of the Dodge brand. This is the Banshee. This is the Daytona. This is the first electric vehicle that we have seen from the Dodge brand. And yes, you can even rev it. We've seen it at multiple different car shows, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. And of course, we've got the Charger, the Challenger. Both of those are bidding us farewell in their current gas-powered versions for something like this that is fully electrified. So this is your last call on Dodge and their gas-powered muscle cars. Here we've got a Dodge Durango 392, but brought back for 2023, we did get the Hellcat powered version. And a lot of consumers that bought into the one model year only version are a little upset that the Hellcat version came back for 2023. But yes, this is one of two vehicles still in the Dodge portfolio moving forward. And so we've got Durango and Hornet are the vehicles that we know are sticking around. What the future holds in store for the Durango is still unsure. The stablemate, the platform mate with the Durango, the Grand Cherokee has been updated, but we have still seen no future plans for the Durango. Moving over here, we've got the Italian brands. So we've got Fiat. We did see this at the LA Auto Show last year, the Volgari edition. There were several special editions of these 500s at the show, so we won't go too much into detail. And I need to get away from all the loud announcements. But back here, we've got Ram and all the new hardware from the Ram brand. The big news recently dropped is that the Hellcat powered TRX, the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 TRX, is going away. Ram did tease that it is not the end of the TRX story, so we are all expecting some crazy twin turbo inline six version of that new Hurricane engine. But as we've been told by the brand, the 6.2 liter version is bowing out on us. So that is a little bit of a sad day. If you are at the auto show, you can experience the power of the Ram brand. Here we've got a Power Wagon going up and over this hill. We've got this massive hill to climb back here in the back. We've got Rebels and Power Wagons, all kinds of good stuff climbing around, showing off the different ground clearance and capabilities of the Ram pickup truck brand. Coming over here, we've got the new 2500 Rebel version. This was actually unveiled last year at the State Fair of Texas, my home state, and good to see it showing out well here in Detroit. Very much looking forward to getting to spend more time with one of these. We've already tested one shortly after the State Fair of Texas. We actually got to drive it. I'm one of the first journalists to drive it. Go check those videos out. We had a bunch of questions for the design team on that one. Earlier this year, we were in New York for the unveiling of the production version of Ram's first all-electric vehicle, the Ram Rev. Here you can see it's not a traditional skateboard platform like what Chevrolet and General Motors are doing with their Ultium platform. This is more like what Ford is doing, taking their ladder frame and putting some battery packs in to make a fully electric vehicle. You can see we've got electric motors front and rear, making this thing a very capable all-electric full-size pickup truck. You can see it does carry over a lot of styling from the concept that they showed the year prior, but all while being wrapped in the traditional Ram 1500 platform. We did go into further detail with this vehicle at its New York International Auto Show debut, so I won't spend too much time on that. But I did want to call out this thing back here. So we were talking Ram TRX and how the 6.2 V8 is going away. What a way to send it off with this gold concept. I believe they're calling it the Gold Rush concept. It is wrapped in a matte gold with black graphics package. And yes, we've got some matching dirt bikes back here in back. Very interesting. And I've just got to show you some of the capability. That doesn't look like too much from out here, but I guarantee you, if you were inside that truck, you're wondering what on earth is going on with that sideways hill climb. Coming around here, we've got the new 2024 Jeep Wrangler. This one is a 4xe model, the #1 selling plug-in hybrid in America. And this is definitely one of the more luxurious trims. You know, at the New York Auto Show, they introduced the 2024 model with a new grille, borrowing from the 2023 model year's 20th anniversary updates for the Rubicon model, but we also get the updated in tech here with this 12.3 Uconnect 5 screen. And then we get 12-way adjustable power seats. So definitely going up on the luxury side of things with the 2024 Jeep Wrangler, which translates, if I can get back there, to what we just saw from the Jeep brand. As I started recording this, we were wrapping up the press conference of the new 2024 Jeep Gladiator. If you know anything about the Gladiator, it is very heavily inspired or partnered with the Wrangler, but it rides on its own dedicated truck platform. So it does have best-in-class 4x4 payload and best-in-class towing, 7,700 pounds of towing with 725 pounds of 4x4 payload. They showed us this gorgeous blue Mojave model, the new Rubicon model, you know I love color, and then this new Willys trim. So this Willys trim is sporting some AEV updates. So again, going back to the New York Auto Show and our coverage of that, they did partner with AEV, American Expedition Vehicles, for some off-road upfits, and that's what we see here on this the Willys model. But you can see a nice update to the Gladiator model line. Since it is so heavily tied in with the Wrangler, we get that same 2024 updated grille. And then I can't really show you because we've got a cab full of people, but we get that new infotainment system, power seats, and the like up there. So all the same luxuries and comforts of the updated 2024 Wrangler here in the Gladiator as well. So now I've got to find my way out of Camp Jeep. There's so many cool obstacles and new things to explore here, including this new crevasse. This is actually where I was camped out for the press conference. Let me just tell you, the smell of wood and lumber from this, very nice. I wish I had smell-o-vision to share that with you. As they get settled down from the press conference, this is where we will see those gladiators sitting throughout the length of the show. And going through the rest of the Jeep booth, we've got the two-row Grand Cherokee here in a couple of colors. And then around here, there we go, that red one is the three-row Grand Cherokee L. They did mention during the press conference Grand Cherokee 4xe, which this is a Trailhawk model of, is the #2 selling PHEV or plug-in hybrid in America. So that is something to be proud of. I guess before I jump too heavily into the Ford booth, I do want to show you Camp Jeep from the back, show you what all's going over here. The largest hill climb in Detroit Auto Show history. A lot of cool different obstacles to explore back here. And then just next to it, you've got the Ford booth and all of their obstacles. Not quite as impressive as Camp Jeep, definitely not as wilderness inspired, but you can ride along in a Bronco, or if you look very carefully back behind it, the new 2024 Ford Ranger. And yes, they have Raptors out here on the trail. So you can be in that new Ranger Raptor. You can test everything from articulation to that giant hill climb. A lot of similar stunts to what Jeep is showing at Camp Jeep, but not quite as extreme. Back here in the Ford gift shop, we've got the new Ford Escape. It got a nice facelift, and then coming into the Ford booth proper, we've got the Ford F-150 Lightning. But the real big news is the updates to the 2024 model line of F-150. They didn't mention anything at the unveiling last night. They didn't mention anything last night about the Lightning and what updates that one would receive, but this one is a trimmer model. I'm unfortunately going to have to sneak out of the Ford booth just because of the press conference going on behind me, but here's that new Dark Horse version of the Ford Mustang, the 2024 Ford Mustang. Takes the 5.0 liter GT and makes it look tame in comparison. Over here, we've got a couple of Ford Mustang Mach-E rally models. So I really like these steel wheels and the upfitting for doing some off-road rallying. Really like the color of that very bright yellow one over here. But yes, like I said, I really need to get away from the press conference going on back behind me. I do want to show you over here 2024 Ford F-150 Raptor R, set to be the most powerful. I don't know of any power updates over the 2023 that we've already tested here on the channel, but you know we loved that thing quite a lot. And then, of course, that Dark Horse Mustang yet again. We've got some Bronco Sport, some Rangers back here, some Broncos, but unfortunately, yes, I had to get away from the noise of that press conference, and we will move into Chevrolet. Here we've got a full row of Silverado pickups coming into what I am most interested in back here in the back, and that is the new Colorado. We've got two versions of the ZR2 Colorado back here in the back corner of the Chevrolet booth. We've got the mild grade, the standard grade ZR2 with its 3 inches of lift, its unique front and rear bumpers. It's a very nice leather interior with full digital gauge cluster. And then we've got a partnership with AEV. Yes, the same AEV that has been partnering with Jeep since the 2024 model year updates has been also working with Chevrolet. You know, we've tested the Silverado AEV Bison, ZR2 AEV Bison. Here they've applied the same treatment to the new Colorado. This doesn't get any power upgrades, but it does have the most powerful version of that 4-cylinder under the hood, 430 pound-feet of torque, 35-inch tall tires. You've got skid plates all the way underneath, improved front and rear bumpers, steel all the way around. This really is a capable beast and a bit of machinery. I'll go ahead and show you while we're back here. Honda's here with their new lineup of vehicles. We've got the new Pilot, the new Accord, the new CRV, new HRV, new lineups across the board for Honda, but nothing really big being announced here for the brand. But I do want to come around to this. Sadly, this marks the second time the Camaro nameplate has been retired. This is the 2024 final edition with a lot of special cues. Unfortunately, it is locked, it is closed down. I did get some time one-on-one with it to spin with it and peek inside, but this is the final edition. Only a handful will be made, and there are some really awesome cues like the Panther there in the R, that call back to the design phase of this vehicle back in the 60s when its code name was Panther, yet we got the name Camaro instead. We've got your standard lineup of Tahoes and Suburbans back here, but I really want to call into account the high performance power of Corvette. So while Camaro may be going away with that Z01 over there, here we've got the flat plane crank Z06. We have got the first all-wheel drive, first hybrid E-Ray version of the Chevy Corvette. Now you can drive this in stealth mode, fully electric mode for a few miles, which if you do that, because there is no mechanical connection to the front electric motor and the rear drive of the gas motor, this does have the 6.2 of the standard Corvette. You're essentially in a front drive Corvette, but when you really want it, when you really need the power, it becomes all-wheel drive for you. But I like how they've got their full lineup of vehicles here, from your standard Corvette, your hybrid Corvette, and your full power Corvette, with engine cutaways for each. Here we've got new vehicles from VW. So we've already shown you in the back there, that is the new Atlas, that is a cross sport trim. Here we've got the ID4. We've got a lot of electrification conversations here at the auto show, but I wanted to start at the back and work my way across the GMC pavilion. So we were here for the unveiling of the all-new 2024 GMC Acadia, and during that conversation they were talking about how 51% of total brand sales now either wear an AT4 off-road badge or a Denali luxury badge. So two sub-brands within the GMC brand that are doing quite well. So there was an AT4, and here is a Yukon in the Denali Ultimate. You know, we had the Sierra 2500 in this Denali Ultimate, and absolutely loved the interior of that one. It was so upscale and nice. But I can't talk about how they unveiled the new Acadia without actually showing you the new Acadia. And yes, they showed it in AT4 and Denali trims. You can also get in an elevation trim. I do believe that is the base model. But here we've got the capable all-wheel drive version, the AT4, and talking about a 2.5 liter turbo 4 powertrain across the board in these vehicles. And as we peek inside this one, a new portrait style, tablet style 15-inch infotainment, full digital gauge cluster in this one, and the midsize segment's first implementation of Super Cruise. So I don't know if you noticed, but we've got that Super Cruise indicator light here on the steering wheel, hands-free driver technology that uses pre-mapped sections of the road. And then this is an extended version of what we are seeing go away in the old Acadia. So if you remember the current Acadia that is being sold was shrunken down from its counterparts with Buick and Chevrolet, but GMC has seen the errors of their ways and they've increased the size. So very unique materials and textures here in this AT4. So we've got perforated leather, but a very upscale cloth here on the bolsters, which is a really nice touch. And that Kalahari or whatever color they call it piping in this one, it is a very nice upscale interior, and that is what I like to see more than anything else. As a father with a child in a car seat, it is child seat friendly second row seats that give way to a 3-person rather wide third row of seats, but you can see rear legroom is kind of tight. Hopefully I can get some more one-on-one time with this the vehicle and the Denali next to it, where we can look more closely at them and go into further detail. But here is the Denali version. I really like this color. I will say, just personal impressions, these actually, I don't say this much, these I think look better in picture and in video than they do in person. In person, they feel, I don't know if plain is the right word, but just very safe in design. Not a lot of risks taken with this one. Does follow a very traditional formula, and this one feels very much like a strong competitor to that new Toyota Grand Highlander that we've covered fairly extensively here on the channel. This being the Denali version is the upscale, set to go up against the platinum trim of that Grand Highlander. But you can see we have a power opening rear hatchback here. We have folding seats that can be controlled from the second row. We've got child seat tethers on the backs of the third row here, 60/40 split bench. And then they did talk about laser etched wood in this one. So it is very crowded in here, but I did want to show you just a little bit of the interior. Standard wheels on the Denali are 20-inch wheels. These are 22s. They're the optional 22s. I do like the interiors of these. This is absolutely where you're going to want to spend all your time, is in the interior of the Denali. And you've got these nice cream and chocolate two-tone seats. They're perforated. They are heated and ventilated up front, heated in the second row. And you can see both sides are actually child seat friendly, so you can leave the car seat in place and go about climbing into the back there. But that is enough in this quick tour of the show of the 2024 GMC Acadia, one of a few brand new vehicles and the only true all new vehicle debuted here at the auto show. Everything else has been a major refresh of a previous generation or previous vehicle. Of course, you can't talk about GMC and sub-brands without the Hummer EV sub-brand. So here we've got the Hummer EV, the truck version, and the EV SUV in this awesome matte green, flat green, with this giant swing gate back in the back. I really would love to have one of these. I'm not gonna lie, this thing is absolutely massive. So a giant 2-row SUV, no third row in this one, but just this massive rear cargo compartment. And you can see the lunar surface in this one. Lift that up, and that is where all your additional storage is. Fortunately, this is a pre-production show model. You can see how hand-built stuff has already kind of gone the way that you would expect at an auto show. But moving to the interior, very similar to the truck version. You get 3-row bench or 3-seat bench seat in the back, and then all your typical Hummer EV amenities up here in the front. And much like the truck, the roof panels do come off and store here in the front of the vehicle, so you can have a truly open air experience in your full-size electric Hummer EV, whether you get the truck or the SUV. So really cool there. And then we've got the 2500 AT4X HD. Again, talking about the AT4 sub-brand. Like I said, 50% of the brand sales wear either the AT4, AT4X, Denali, or Denali Ultimate badge on them. And I can absolutely see why. This one's got the Denali level interior, style interior, but all the capability of the AT4 line. So increased ground clearance, skid plates, all that good stuff. And yes, red tow hooks. And this one's got the 6.6 liter Duramax, nearly 1,000 pound-feet of torque in that one. Here we can see the Terrain, their compact crossover, again, wearing that AT4 sub-brand badge. Not a lot to make this one truly special. It's not quite like Jeep and their Trailhawk sub-brand on their vehicles. It's definitely what GMC is going for with AT4, but doesn't quite hit the mark for me. As an owner of a Cherokee Trailhawk, it seems like this model specifically kind of phones it in, but you can see here in Denali trim, it is a very nice vehicle with an updated interior. Again, very welcoming place to be, very nice environment. The design language in here is a lot of what is going out in the Acadia in favor of what I showed you in that 2024 version. And since we talked about Hummer EV, we can talk about Sierra Denali EV, which is what this is. The first fully electric, fully GMC, no sub-brand here. This is the Sierra EV. So much like the Silverado EV, we're targeting over 400 miles of range. We do have a front trunk in this one. We do have a midgate to give additional cargo room to the bed. In the back, we've got that new infotainment that we saw implemented in the Acadia. So a lot of future design elements, future thought given to this. This is what the future of the GMC brand will look like. And yes, coming back here to the back, we have the multi-pro tailgate. And I will say, compared to the gas-powered trucks, this one is fairly flat to be more aerodynamic. There isn't a lot of sculpting on this one, but it is a very nice looking vehicle, especially in this kind of cement gray color. Turning around, we can talk about the present of the GMC brand, and this is the AT4X version of the new Canyon. The Canyon rides on the same platform with the same powertrains as that Chevy Colorado, but it is definitely the more premium vehicle of the bunch. You can see the interior here will help leather and all the contrasting red, white, black, gray. In this one, it definitely stands out when you look inside. And then looking at the over fenders here, on the Colorado that we saw earlier, they were the standard fenders with plastic over fenders to account for the added width of the vehicle. All GMC Canyon versions get the added width across the board, so they can actually build that into the metal fenders on the vehicle instead of having plastic over fenders just for the models that need that extra stance covered by some sort of panel. And you can really see back here on the back the added width in the back of the bedside here. And coming around to the back, we do have that tailgate with the storage built into it. I'll go ahead and pop this open and show you that. We also have a cargo cover on this one, but go ahead and show you the tailgate storage in the back of this one. You can also see this one has a few different nets in here, just showing you different options of what this could be used for. And you can see it is fully lockable. When the tailgate is closed and locked, you can't get into that. It does have a drain plug, so you can use it as a cooler if you like. So a very nice innovation there in the GMC Canyon AT4. This white one here is, well, you guessed it, it's the Denali version. So with 51% of vehicles going out with either the Denali badge or the AT4 badge, you can see what is important to the brand moving forward. We get the leather here on the dash, some very interesting, it looks like wood up here, and then we get the multi-tone seats here with all the cross stitching in it. So a very nice look. You can have luxury, you can have capability, you can have it all And again, like I said, all GMC Canyons get the most powerful version of the four-cylinder engine and that increased width. So the stance of a Canyon is going to be much bigger and brawnier than your lower trims of the Colorado. So even this Denali should be quite capable when you get down to it. Coming down past GMC just a little bit, we get into Buick. If you know anything about Buick brand, they are under the same roof as GMC, so it makes sense for them to be neighbors here at the auto show. Here is the Envision with the old Buick face, and here is the Encore with the new Buick face. So Buick is going through a little bit of a revision itself. We showed you the Wildcat concept in Chicago earlier this year, and that is where the design direction of the brand is going. And here is the first application of that new design trend on a Buick product. This is the Encore in the new Avenir trim. Think of it as Buick's Denali. It is their top of the line trim. So we got an updated interior as well as that updated exterior, but riding on that familiar platform. This is the ST trim, looks just a little bit sporty, but these two vehicles are the equivalent. Go ahead and show you over here. You see that baby blue Chevy over at the Chevy booth? That's the Trailblazer. That is a shared platform mate here with the Encore. Coming next to the Encore, I'm going to show you the Invista. So we've had a lot of coverage on our channel with the 2023 Chevy Trax. This is Buick's version of the Chevy Trax. So it's bigger than the Encore, but more affordable, more luxurious, more roomy. And I think the style works a little bit better on this one. One way that General Motors Buick cut costs to help keep this affordable is they're only offering it in front-wheel drive. So no all-wheel drive for this bigger crossover here in the Buick lineup. And this being the ST, we get the black wheels and black accents. You get that floating roof-esque design back there in the back with kind of a fastback, hatchback look. Definitely a design departure from Buicks of the past. It does look fun, fast, and sporty. And of course, we get that new Buick face, which I am still getting used to as I see them on the road, especially driving around here in Detroit. You've got those LED running lights separated from the headlights, and that fairly nondescript grille and new Buick logo. So we haven't even discussed the new Buick logo, ditching the circle around the three shields. Rumor has it that was actually done by mistake and they just kind of ran with it. It made its way into a design drawing, and the team that made the call said they really liked it. So now we've got that new design on the badge as well. But let me know what you think of this new Invista, the first ever Invista. Very interesting look, and like I said, it is a platform sharing vehicle with the new Chevy Trax. So I have been very impressed with the Chevy Trax since they unveiled it. It definitely got a glow up. And then here we've got the top trim Avenir. Again, think of it as the Denali of the Buick brand. We'll go ahead and peek inside this one and show you just how luxurious and upscale this one is, with all the screens up front and the tech there. So a little misleading with that kind of curved looking screen here. This, from here to here, is the entirety of that gauge cluster pod. So I'm sure when you fire the vehicle up, just know you're not getting a full widescreen display. It's more of an 8-inch, just like the one used in most Chevy Colorados and that new Chevy Trax. Speaking of the Chevy Trax, I'm going to come around back to the Chevy booth around these guys filming their stuff and show you just back to back so we can kind of see the difference. The Invista and this, yes, they are platform mates. They share a lot in common under the skin, and their design philosophy, front wheel drive only, small 3 3-cylinder powertrain, but you can see here we've got a little bit more traditional design for the gauge pod. Instead of having like that big screen that looks like it should be more screen than it is, it fits a little bit better here in the tracks. This is the top trim active or co-top trim with the RS, which I'll go ahead and show you over here. I hope to get one of these very soon to test. I know that there is one in our local fleet that looks just like this. It's the same color, this cayenne red, the RS package with the 19-inch wheels. So what you lose in the RS versus the active is power driver's seat. No power driver's seat, but you get the 19-inch wheels in this one. So while the active has those black 18s, these have got rather sporty looking 19s. You really had to decide what works better for you with these two co-top trims. But here you can kind of see that gauge pod back there in the back, just how big the screen is. That is the exact same screen that is used in the Invista as well. But the infotainment screen is large and in charge in this one. I do believe it's an 11-inch infotainment screen, which is a nice touch. I think Chevy is doing a great job here with their new model and all their redesigns. Speaking of Chevy redesigns, here is the current Traverse that is on the market. I'll go ahead and take you on a quick tour all the way around it. I do have the back hatch open, so I can't show you all the style of it compared to its replacement, which is right behind me. I'll go ahead and come over here and show you the 2024 Traverse in the first ever Z71 trim. So boxy is in as a styling theme and element, and the designers over at Chevrolet definitely got the memo. This Traverse is bigger, bolder, wider, more squared off, more boxy than the version it replaces. And I really like some of the design themes and elements on this one. I do have a further in-depth walk around of this one, but short synopsis: 1-inch lift, all-terrain wheels and tires on this one, and an updated interior. So very capable vehicle, dual clutch all-wheel drive as well. So there's the old one back there. Here's what they're going to look like moving forward. Come around, look at the face of it. You see, it looks very familiar to the Tahoes and Suburbans of the world currently. So very familiar styling when you get to the front of the new Traverse. And of course, Chevrolet is showing off their new slate of EVs. We've got the Blazer EV, which was featured in the Barbie movie, so check that out. We've got the Equinox EV back here. And then a production-ready Silverado EV. So I talked to the lead engineer on this. Black will be the exclusive color for the first limited run of the Silverado EV. And we've seen the blue one, but this is what you're going to start seeing on the roads very soon. We've got the LED light bar across the front with the separated headlights. Very clean, very respectable styling here. I'm actually going to pan over here and show you Nicole there in the blue is the chief engineer of this vehicle. We've interviewed her both on the YouTube channel and on our podcast, talking about this vehicle and everything that makes it so special, from its midgate to its over 400 miles of range. This is a very impressive vehicle here in this RST trim. It looks rather nice as well. Look at those massive 24-inch wheels, 0 to 60 in under 4.5 seconds, 785 pound-feet of torque. This thing is quite powerful. It's set to tow. It's set to do a lot of work. Coming back to Chevy and Ford, now that that press conference is over and I'm not trying to talk over anybody, you can see we've got the ZR2 version of the 2500 updated for the 2024 model year. We saw the new 2024 Silverado 2500s at the State Fair of Texas last year. And here we've got the first ever ZR2 version of it. So everything that makes the 1500 ZR2 something you would want to take off-road, here we've got it in the 2500. I really like the contrast of the black and the white. You get those very tall Goodyear Wrangler wheels. You've got the DSSV Multimatic suspension hiding back here behind those tall wheels and tires. So a lot of capability built into this 2500. I don't want to get too far. I do still hear that press conference going on back there, and I haven't shown you Cadillac or Lincoln. Got a little sidetracked bringing you back to Chevrolet. So we'll go through Cadillac and Lincoln here. We've got Navigator right front and center right here on camera. And then right in the middle of the booth is their new Nautilus. So this is a all new design showcasing the design direction of the brand. You can see that LED light bar going all the way across the front. Very nice look to it. You know, we recently tested an Aviator here on the channel, but this is the future of the Lincoln design and their products here. Much like the Continental sedan that came and went, we've got door handles integrated into the window sills, and then this giant wraparound screen up front that I just had to show you for a little bit. It goes from pillar to pillar and controls everything from your speed display, your driver information display, your maps, your clock, your infotainment. Just a wall-to-wall screen up front in this one. And then, yes, those very interesting door handles integrated into the body side just underneath the windows there. Gives the side a very clean look, but from here, it kind of looks like something's broken looking down the window line. Let me know what you think of that as a design philosophy moving forward. Otherwise, fairly standard but cleaned up, modernized Lincoln styling. And then coming back here, we've got the new Corsair, which has a very familiar styling to it as well. We've got that same large updated grille and just very familiar Lincoln styling. Here's another Nautilus. Again, just to show you how familiar these two vehicles are in their design language. Just that updated look across the board for their two volume vehicles. And we're going to sneak out here. Here we've got the Aviator. It's my favorite Lincoln in the lineup right now. Be interesting to see when this gets updated and what they end up doing on it. Really like this as a brand, as a product. We really enjoyed our time in it. And definitely go check out our video of that. You've got the 30-way perfect position seats. This is a very comfortable vehicle all the way around. Coming back to the Cadillac booth. So we have an updated CT5, but before we get back there, I want to show you we've got XT6, their largest crossover. We've got XT4, which was just updated both inside and out for the 2024 model year, with a slightly updated face and that 33-inch OLED curved screen on the inside. We're going to be talking more about that when we get back to the CT5 here in just a second. But you can see the updated front fascia on this one, the new look of the Cadillac brand as they kind of get a little more cohesive in their styling of their gas-powered vehicles as they move to all electrification. Back here, this beautiful red example is the CT4V. So this is not the Blackwing that we've tested on the channel very recently. This is the non-Blackwing V, but you can see definitely gets a lot of the same sporty elements. This one is all-wheel drive, but no, it doesn't get that crazy, powerful turbocharged V6 that we tested in the Blackwing version. Get the Escalade over here, perhaps one of the most popular vehicles in the Cadillac lineup. We've tested even the V model, which is what this is right here, with its hand-built 6.2 liter V8 under the hood. That just sounds amazing. And then speaking of Blackwings, here is the CT5V Blackwing. with its 6.2 liter V8 under the hood. And I really love this mosaic black. It's a metallic black in this one. Very nice. And you get that dual tone interior. This thing is really impressive. You can get a 6-speed manual or 10-speed auto in this, but I'm going to spend just a little time here lingering on the face of this one because this is what the CT5 currently looks like. Yes, this is the Blackwing version, and this is celebrating 20 years of the Cadillac brand, or the V brand. But we're going to come over and take a look at the 2025 CT5. So updated looks for the model year, much like that XT4. We get updated headlights on this one, and I really like the sequential turn signal on this particular model. And then as we peek inside, again, 33 inches of curved display on this one. So very nice interior upgrades to go with the exterior upgrades as well. Just a subtle mid-cycle refresh that does a lot of things right. Here on, I would say, the best looking vehicle in the Cadillac lineup. I really like the style of the CT5. So there you can see all the headlights working and running. Speaking of Cadillac, you can't talk about Cadillac without talking about the Lyriq. Their all-electric vehicle set to replace the XT5 in the lineup. So while yes, we are finally getting names within Cadillac again, everything is going to end in IQ as the brand goes all electric. We've already seen teased online, but they do not have here the Escalade IQ, the equivalent of that Hummer EV that we saw not too long ago. A big 3-row electric vehicle from Cadillac, but here is their first all-electric vehicle, the Lyriq. You know, we've tested a first edition already, so go check that video out. It really was a nice vehicle all the way around. Turning back around, we're going to cut through the Lincoln booth once more on our way to Toyota, because I'm very excited. Toyota brought their newest product, and if you know, you already know what I'm talking about, but it is on the other side of their booth. So we're actually going to work our way over to it and stop and check out. We've got the new Prius here. This is the XSE version of the Prius Prime, the plug-in hybrid. And I really do think this is an amazing blow up for the Prius brand. Prius has always kind of been the punching bag of auto enthusiasts. The last generation, I would have to say, is the least fortunately designed, but this one is definitely one worth looking at, one worth having. We did drive one much like this already on the channel, an XSE performance of the Prime. So go check that video out. Here we have the non-Prime, so non-plug-in. This one is actually all-wheel drive, an all-wheel drive version. So that's a really nice one. And then we've got the new Crown over here. And this is the Avalon replacement. It is a taller, more SUV-like ride height on a very premium vehicle. So this is the Platinum trim, which uses the Hybrid Max new hybrid philosophy and powertrain in this one, with tons of power, tons of acceleration. We've got the GR Corolla over here, and we've tested one. I loved it. I didn't want to give it back. Very cool vehicle right there. Worked for our family to load up with our son and a friend and head to Dallas and back. Here we've got the 4Runner, set to be replaced very soon because it is on a shared platform with the new Tacoma. We've already seen the new Tacoma. Very interested to see what the new 4Runner looks like, because, well, there's just more to come that very much looking forward to seeing there. We've already seen the new Land Cruiser, which fits in the same size bracket as that 4Runner. So again, very intrigued to see what the new 4Runner looks like, because it rides on a shared platform with this, the new 2024 Toyota Tacoma. This is the color I would pick. It's bright orange, solar octane, I believe, is the color on this one, and it is an absolute standout in the midsize segment. This is the sales leader, has been the sales leader for a very long time. Everybody is gunning for this vehicle, from Jeep with their Gladiator, which does offer a unique entry into the segment with its removable doors and roof, to the return of Colorado and Canyon. Everybody wants a piece of the Tacoma pie, but Toyota really wrote the book on midsize pickups. The big story here is the new powertrain on this vehicle. You've got a smaller version of the powertrain that is powering the new Tundra. So while the Tundra gets a twin turbo V6, we get a turbocharged 4-cylinder in this one. Still a lot of power, a lot of capability. Can't wait to actually get in and test one of these, hopefully very soon. Cannot wait for more time with one. Unfortunately, it's locked. Can't really show you much about it there. As we look around, we've got the Sienna minivan, we've got the traditional Highlander here. That is the internal term that I've learned from my friends at Toyota. This is the traditional Highlander, as it's known within the halls of Toyota. Not to be confused with this, the all-new Grand Highlander. So stretched, grown up, more roomy inside, bigger, boxier outside. This really does look a lot like that new Acadia that we saw on the outside, or shall I say the Acadia looks a lot like this. And personal opinions, seeing them both in person, I will have to say the Toyota definitely is the better looker of the two. I would say the GMC probably has the better looking, better stylized interior, but I would say that this is the roomier interior. But we've got several videos, including a couple drive videos of different trims of this Grand Highlander. You can see this is the entry XLE trim. So just calling that out there, that is one of the lower trims, but still not an unwelcome place to be. Last, as we come back to the main stage here, we've got Kia. And you know, we are a fan of the Kia brand. We've got a couple Sportages back here. We've got the Forte, a red Kia Soul. I think that's the only one we haven't gotten to test on the channel for any length of time. We've got the Niro. This one looks to be a plug-in version. I don't know if it's the full electric or the hybrid, but your plug is right here in the front. And like I said, multiple different powertrain options on this, from gas, hybrid to full electric. Kia Carnival back there, Kia EV6 right there. Another Kia EV6 over here. This one was shown off at Pebble Beach in this new green color. It is celebrating all the awards the brand has, or the vehicle has garnered, including the GT winning the Performance Vehicle of the Year. So a lot of praise being heaped upon that EV6 line. Here we've got a K5, the Sportage, the 2023 Sportage. I just got out of one of those. This is an SX Prestige X line in Aruba green. We got out of a wolf gray. And then here is the 2023 very popular Kia Telluride, updated for the 23 model year. New headlights, grille, fascia, wheels, interior, including the updated screens, infotainment, and driver information center in this one. So that is kind of the new look of Kia IP moving forward, that curved dash. In fact, a lot of brands are going to that. As we look back here at the Ford booth, the F-150 was refreshed, updated last night for the 2024 model year. Standard across the board on the F-150 is a 12.3-inch digital information system, as well as a 12-inch infotainment system in that one as well. but lots of stuff to see and experience here. I don't know if you've heard the entire time that we've been walking around. We've got tires screeching in the back from the EV test track. I showed you, you can ride along in Fords and Jeeps and Rams. A lot of fully experiential things to do here at the 2023 North America International Auto Show in Detroit, Michigan. If you like this, you want to see some more in-depth stuff, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below. Ring the bell so you are notified every time one of my deeper dive videos from this trip comes out. And I'll show you more details of several different vehicles around the show here. Today is the first day of media previews. I am hoping that I've got even more access to stuff tomorrow. Again, hit that subscribe button, follow along, ring the bell so you're notified every time. Find us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, after a full tour of the entire show floor of the North America International Auto Show, until next time, gearheads, bye. And yeah, blah, wordy.